What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back with the boxing clinic and more. You know we do more than boxing. I'm finally ready to react or review to the Minnesota Vikings New Orleans Saints game. It was slotted in the best TV time for the weekend, and it definitely didn't disappoint if you was Vikings fans. It had drama. The Vikings jumped up quick. Pair of rushing touchdowns, I think. And I think Keenum threw one at the end. But you know, the Saints got off to a slow start. You know, they had a lot of missed opportunity, a lot of penalties early on, and Minnesota just righted the ship. Minnesota should have been at Pitt New Orleans away. I think they got content a little bit, but Murray and McKinney looked pretty good coming out the backfield for the most part. Keenum, his mobility played a big key factor in them winning that final drive and winning the game. You know, he eluded the Saints pass rush with just shoulder shimmies and some nice footwork. And he made a lot of good passes that had touch on them. I mean, his touch passes were dimes, especially the last one to Stephon Diggs, what we'll get to. And Minnesota definitely earned this victory. It's like Drew Brees didn't wake up until the second half. And, Mike Thomas did better versus Xavier Rhodes than we expected. Xavier Rhodes had a little meltdown at the end when Thomas scored on him. And but Minnesota, it's tough, like Mike Zimmer, like they coach. A guy who deserved to be a head coach for a long time, man. And me being a Lions fan, I don't have no ill will versus Minnesota at all. None at all. I seen them for years. We lose to the Packers, and the Bears had their time in the 80s. And if it's Minnesota's time, it's Minnesota's time. If they had to go find the bottom of a barrel quarterback in Case Keenum, and he able to work magic in Pat Shermer's offense, so be it. But New Orleans did adjust in the second half, and they started moving the ball at will. Kamara got it going. Thomas got it going. A lot of different people got it going. But what it boiled down to me was when it was 3rd and 1, it was about 20-something seconds on the clock, 28, 30 seconds on the clock, and New Orleans nonchalantly tried to run the ball on 3rd and 1 versus Minnesota, and it didn't look like the line fired off the ball. It didn't even look like Drew Brees handed the ball off with conviction to Alvin Kamara. It didn't even like Alvin Kamara hit the hole like he was supposed to at the end of the game. And it seemed like the Saints just wanted to get the ball in the middle of the field, kick the field goal, and be content. And I think it was the wrong time for Sean Payton not to be aggressive. He was aggressive with throwing the 2 red flags out, but he wasn't aggressive on 3rd and 1, which if they picked up that 3rd and 1, the clock runs down and get 3 more fresh downs. Vikings had 1 or 2 timeouts left. They would have had to use both of those timeouts or one of those timeouts, and New Orleans could have kicked the field goal and won the game. It didn't look like they gave a lot of effort on that 3rd and 1. Before they go look at the number 43 Williams right there, think about that 3rd and 1 where everybody didn't fire off that ball like they was supposed to, and the line didn't press like they was supposed to. The play calling was basically HB slam handed off to Kamara when. And they didn't try to pick up the 31. There was no creativity in that play call. It was like a nonchalant whole offensive effort. So before we look at number 43, look at that play, 3rd and 1 with 20-something seconds left to go. They pick up that 3rd down. Waltz makes that kick. They go to the NFC Championship game. So, but to get to the play at the end, basically Williams whiffed. He didn't want to get a pass interference. And it was the worst tackle of the game. This dude was able to hang up in the air, catch the ball, come down on 1 foot, and run to the end zone. I don't know what 43 was doing. I know he wasn't trying to get a pass interference call. I think that's what it was. But that was a tough play to watch. I picked the Saints to win. I wanted the Saints to win. It was tough. It was real tough. I don't know what coverage they was in. I was just a prisoner of the moment. But they couldn't do nothing with Diggs and Thielen all game. Crawley was getting picked on. I mean, you just got to make the tackle here. No timeouts. They threw to the sidelines. They should have been, honestly, they should have been trying to force play, play outside leverage and force throws to the middle. But Case Keenum bought enough time with his elusiveness and dropped it down to Stephon Diggs. And, he ran. It seems destined for the Minnesota Vikings to go home for the Super Bowl. But they got to go through Philly and dilly, the pit of misery, out there in the cold. We'll talk about it But honestly, I'm starting to think that the Eagles might have more than a chance than we think they do. Defense travel outside. But, Philly defense playing very, very good. And if it's really cold out there and they come down to running the ball on Minnesota, running the ball on Philly, it's going to be interesting to see, how this goes down. So, congratulations to Minnesota Vikings. We gone.